Your back. It's okay, you're taking them up. Okay. So for shoulder, IR and ER, sorry, you're going to be on your lower side. Is this shoulder okay?
Totally fine.
Totally fine. So the patient is prone on their belly, head is turned toward test side, the arm is abducted a bit towards test side, towards me. The arm is going to be abducted to about 90 degrees, so we're here in this position. Now, when we're talking our muscle size, how big are rotator cuff muscles?
Small.
Teeny. So we're going to use 2 fingers above the wrist for our resistance. So I'm checking to see how much motion we have for external rotation. So we're going to bring your arm up.
Are you happy with his position?
I am. No towel used for MMT.
Question though?
Yeah?
Do we care if he's in that, like, more?
Well, obviously our tables here are not as great for that because they do slope down. We don't want to use a towel because we don't want to give anything extra to kind of push down into. I could have him scooch a smidge that way without falling off the table, and that's a little bit better because then the table now is blocking it completely. So I'm going to bring you into that motion, see how much you have. Actually, I should ask you to do it first. Good, so that looks nice, and then come back down. Do you guys see that muscle contraction going on here? So we're gonna bring him through it again. So for a full 5, he's gonna be able to hold that position here. Don't let me move you. Good, so we're actually pretty strong. We waver a little bit, it would be a 4. Now for testing purposes, I'm still gonna have my hand there and kind of supporting him, but so that you guys can see I moved. So 4, we're going to waver. A 3, we're not going to be able to hold any resistance whatsoever. A 2 in this position, we're going to test differently. There are a couple of different ways to test for a 2. The first way, you could click to the next slide. Sorry, click again. You can do supported on the table. So you could have your patient sit at the edge of the table. On the seat. And come all the way around over here.
Everyone at the high-low table.
We'll just pretend and just go like this. Oh. So we're pretending that he's seated at the edge of the table, and we're moving the patient. So for internal rotation, you're trying to pull your arm towards your stomach.
Sorry?
So you're going to pull your arm towards your stomach for internal, and then away for external. So that would be for a 2. For gravity eliminated, you can do it that way, or come back onto the table, lay on your stomach with your arm hanging off the table. Completely hanging off the table, so scoot all the way over. So the arm is straight, the elbow is an extension. So we're starting off in this neutral position. So thumb is facing up, towards the door, if you will. Not up, sorry. Elbow is extended. And for external rotation, which way is he going to move? Is he moving towards the table or away from the table?
Away.
Everybody I wanted you guys to think to yourselves for a couple of seconds for those people that work a little slower. So you're going to move your hand away for the table for external. So you're away, so rotation, so away. And then for internal, come back, and then internal. So that'd be another way to check for a 2 in this position. So come sit back up.
Can I say, but don't go away yet.
Don't go away yet.
Put your arm down. What do you have to be careful of on that internal external rotation that could be misleading? What could it look like?
Supination and pronation versus
Yeah,
ER and IR.
Right, so you have to make sure that you're seeing motion happening at his shoulder.
So make sure that the elbow stays extended the whole time, and you keep your hand there to test for that internal and external motion. So he's kind of supinating to have it come from up top. There you go, and then again. Good. So for a 2, you can come sit up. There are a couple different ways to test for a 2. You could do it seated, internal, external, or you could do it prone with the arm hanging off the table. Okay? So if your patient comes to you and they're saying, oh, like I'm having trouble with this, and you're testing for IR and ER, how do you know which way to proceed? So like he's only able to lie down on your stomach. I don't want to move your arm a little bit. So we're here, and he's only able to get to about here. What would you do? So this is neutral, and we're only able to go into about that much rotation.
Test for 2.
Which way would you test for a 2?
Sitting down.
Well, it depends on your patient, but in this case, given our patient, what would be the best way to test?
Same position, just go
Same
off
position,
the table and do the rotational one.
Actually, it's already pretty
Good.
much off the table.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
So where do you,
Supposed to be
any
over there
case where you
before.
would not want to test in that way, with the arm hanging completely off the table? Well, like
Yeah.
different kinds of that, but like what other reason why would be a reason to have somebody seated? Exactly. So the too much motion at the shoulder. If they can't isolate, and from what Dr. Wiener said, you're seeing too much pronation, supination, and they can't get that motion from the shoulder. Because if they're doing it seated on the table, they're able to kind of show you more what that internal external looks like seated and supported. Because for this, gravity is eliminated, but there is still a little bit of gravitational pull based on the position of the arm. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah. What is the
You can
rule
come
with
sit up.
like how the head's supposed to be turned?
So there really isn't a rule. For some reason, the book states to have like for range of motion, it can make a difference by like seeing it and going through that motion. But for some reason, the book specifies. Do you have any idea why it says head turned to one side for this?
Yes, it's because you want to put some of the scapular muscles on slack,
Okay.
so that it's not like tightness in your scapular muscles that's keeping you from, like you want the scapula to be free to move for the shoulder movements.
if you want
So
same
if you turn
side.
away, if you turn away, some of your scapular muscles could become a little bit tight.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
So this one is same side.
Testing.
Yeah.